Hey mamas. Okay, so today we are talking about scaling to happy. I'm going to give you 5 steps to learn how to scale your life to be happy. Because right now, you're not happy. I know this because you're here watching this video with me. And because you are a mother who has shape-shifted her whole life. I'm sure you guys have all seen Moana, and you know Maui. He goes to every place he is, he changes to adapt to the circumstances of what people around him need, right? He becomes a boat or a fish or a shark or whatever, right? And so in our life, we have constantly developed this idea that we need to change to adapt to help people around us, right? Like as women, we're pretty amazing that we can, adapt and change so quickly. We can multitask, we can do whatever is required of us. But through that, we lose ourselves a little bit, right? You think about as a child how you were trying to please your parents or please your teacher or whatever. So you were learning, you were watching and observing and seeing what led to good, what good behavior led to positive reinforcement and what caused any anger or frustration. So we were constantly taking inventory of what people were doing and changing for that. And then we got married and we saw what our husband likes or what doesn't like. And we've been changing to please him. And then being a mother, oh my goodness, we're trying to change to become who we think, the media presents a mother or what we think our parents think how we should behave or what our family thinks or our husband or a mother-in-law or whatever it is. So we've constantly been shape-shifting into all these different versions of ourselves. But what's interesting is our core self is still there. We've just been layering on all these versions of ourselves. And through that, I truly believe that that's how we hit our misery point. I'll be honest with you, there's certain people I'm around where I feel like I got to put on a new hat, right? Like they're strict with their kids, so I got to be strict with my kids, or they think that, whatever. And so I just adapt and I change and I shift, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting because I believe that I need to be a certain person for different people. And so what I'm offering is when we are using this scale, right, to decide, okay, where are we right now in our life and how can we get back to where we want to be? Right now, we're like at a 0, right? We're in misery. We're like this cranky mom, and we want to start moving up this scale. And not that we get to a 10 and we're happy forever, because if you've heard any of my videos, life's 50-50, right? It's 50 great, 50 crappy all the time. It's yin yang. There's always this constant contrast. But when you're miserable most of the time, that is a good indicator that some changes need to be made. So here's some 5 steps to be able to scale to happy. The first thing is hit rock bottom. And maybe you're there with me. I've spent the last few days crying and sitting on the floor and just feeling like I don't know what to do. I don't know who I am. And we want to start there. It's not pretty, but that's where we're starting. So we meet ourselves at this cranky, miserable place. We know that okay, here I am. This is not where I want to be. The second one is to desire more. That's when you're like, all right, I know my life is meant for more than this. I know I'm capable of more. I know I'm in there somewhere. I desire to find myself. That's the second step. The third step is to start to spark that inner peace, that inner joy, to start discovering who you are, to find out who you are, where you were, right? I've talked in other videos about we've lost our happy. Moms who've lost their happy, because we have, right? We're trying to be strict and have expectations and try to, create timelines and to-do lists and do all the things. And through that process, we've lost ourselves. And so we want to spark that light in ourselves, start to discover who we are. And so that way we can feel the passion, we can feel purpose, we can feel desires again. We can start uncovering like these little glimpses of joy. Because right now you're feeling miserable most of the time, and you might have just like one little moment of it, and you think that everything's gone wrong because you're not happy. And when we learn to spark this joy in ourselves, when we learn to find our passions and to act on them, take ownership of our emotions, to feel our emotions, then we can start shape-shifting into the version of ourselves we want to be. And we do that for us, not for anybody else, right? Like, it's the first time we're going to start changing into who we are, and we're going to learn how to accept that people are going to see us differently, right? Like, it's the most liberating experience ever when you are so certain and so comfortable in your own skin that it doesn't matter what other people think, right? Like, they could think that you're a bad mom or a bad wife, or that you feed your kids sugar or whatever, and you're okay with it. It's the most beautiful thing ever. And so through this process, when we're learning to scale to happy, we discover who we are. That leads to joy. That leads to happiness. It's like putting on these goggles and we see things so differently. And that's what I want to offer you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, so you can see more videos coming your way. And I will see you next week. All right. Bye, mamas.